The North American Caribbean Training Method was started earlier this year in 2020. And the purpose of the program is to give Caribbean coaches in the United States and Canada an opportunity to come together, train, and work with players.
We are going to spread this throughout the United States. This has been something, a dream of coaches of Caribbean descent in America for a very, very long time. And we have now to work and to get these kids to a different level.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Black Soccer Membership Association podcast. I hope everyone had a great, happy New Year. Hope everyone had a great Christmas, a happy Kwanzaa, or whatever you celebrate. We're looking forward to a great year in 2021, definitely much better than 2020. So I've got a special guest today. It's really a man who really needs no introduction. A lot of folks around the Caribbean know exactly who he is. Lenny Taylor. He is from Jamaica, but he has a vast history in the Caribbean dealing with a lot of the football associations. He spent time at St. Vincent and the Grenadines. He spent time at St. Kitts and Nevis. So we're going to get into a great discussion, not only talking about the Caribbean, but we're also going to talk about what he's currently working on, which is the Islands Cup, which is going to be a great league that's going to be coming up fairly soon. But before we get started, if everybody can click the like button, you guys can click the subscribe button and also the notification button. As you all know, this is a platform for Black soccer coaches, players, administrators, and referees, and an opportunity for us to communicate and share ideas. All right, so I've got a special guest. Always exciting to talk to Lenny. He brings a smile to my face every time I talk to him because he's just filled with knowledge. So, Mr. Taylor, how's everything going?
Well, first must say Happy New Year.
Yep.
And I hope 2021 will be a wonderful year for you and your organization. And we're happy to be able to have a good discussion with you. It's always vibrant as usual. So we're looking forward to that.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thanks again, Lenny. Thanks for coming on to the show. So I would first like to start off and just kind of talk a little bit about what you're currently working on. I know the Islands Cup has been something that has been, something that you're passionate about. I think you are probably one of the few, coaches I know who has such a vast history in the Caribbean in terms of like all the islands. So can you tell us what the Islands Cup is about and what your role is currently?
Wonderful. Islands Cup has been conceived for quite a few years now. And our chairman, Chris Anderson, has been working on this and diligently trying to put it all together. And it has come to fruition. And we're looking forward to the launching in 2021. It's a tournament. It's not a league. It's a tournament which plays from out of the Caribbean, but also have a roving schedule that it plays in other areas, North America, Europe, Asia, also the Middle East. My role is Director of Football Development, and that's really initially finding players in the Caribbean, especially young players. Let me emphasize that in the Caribbean, we are going outside of the national team players, the current national team players, and searching to find young players with a tremendous upside that they could use this as a vehicle to get into the mainstream of football worldwide. As you know, this is a multi-billion-dollar business, and the Caribbean players are on the periphery of the sport, dabbling here and there, with the exception of a very few who's doing well in Europe, few in the MLS, and that seemed to be it. So my job is finding those players along with finding the quality players in the diaspora, which means young players, senior players who have also played some football, maybe MLS, USL, and is looking for an opportunity to move ahead because of the limited avenues in North America. So those players looms very big in our plans. So that's, in a nutshell, is what the Island Cup is about. With those players, they're fused in with legendary players. And as leagues like the MLS and the old NASL, you bring in the older players and you find the younger players to ride on with them to break them out into the wide world of football. So in a nutshell, that's what the program is.
So would you say the Islands Cup is kind of like a transition into like the MLS or to Europe, or is the Island Cup kind of going to be a standalone where players, like you mentioned, from the diaspora can come and they can be a part of the cup?
You can be a part of the cup and also create opportunity for moving into another direction of football. Mm-hmm. But for those who have no opportunity but have talent, mm-hmm. it's a vehicle that we can bring them into first world football. So I'm very excited about young diaspora players, 17, 18, young Caribbean players, 16, 17, 18, to get them early, get them into a good football development program, and give them the opportunity to be able to feed themselves, feed their families, and also motivate young Caribbean players to work hard, develop their skills, because this is a vehicle that can break them through to the next level.
That's interesting that you talked about player development, because I've had a couple of podcasts previously. One was with Ashton Baptiste. I don't know if you know the name, but he is from Trinidad and Tobago. And we had talked about player development being something that is a big missing piece in the Caribbean. Can you tell us a little bit more about like the coaches? Who are the coaches that are going to work with these players to help them get to that level that they need to get to?
There is quite a bit of players that all the players are world-renowned players that played either in the EPL or coached in the EPL or in Italy or Spain. One name comes on the tip of my tongue is Sven Eriksson. Mm-hmm. Of course, he coached England and he coached some other teams in the EPL. Mm-hmm. That's one guy. El Pibe, who played in Colombia and also played in the early days of the MLS.
MLS, yep.
is involved in there, and a host of coaches that, not going to say too much more, but those are two outstanding names.
So in terms of the teams, like, how is it going to be structured? Is it going to be from island to island? How many clubs do you currently have, or teams do you currently have a part of the Islands Cup?
Well, there are 10 teams, 10 franchises.
Okay.
And it's one from Brazil, one from Colombia. Then you have Suriname, you have Guyana, you have Trinidad and Tobago, you have Jamaica, you have the French teams that we call the French Caribbean islands combined for one team. The Spanish, also you have the Combined Islands, which is a combination of the Eastern Caribbean islands, just as they've done in cricket. So you'll have the Combined Islands, and so those are the franchises. We don't play too much from island to island, but we play home and away. No, we play in selected islands: Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, Antigua, the Virgin Islands. Those are some of the sites that we play out of. And from there, it moves on into Canada, Europe, as a roving schedule. This is an opportunity of giving these young players to be seen. And I believe this concept with legends, young players from the Caribbean, young players in the diaspora, some journeyman players in the diaspora, will open the opportunity for more Caribbean players to get into professional football. It's important that we have the young Caribbean because it allows them the opportunity to be developed properly. Right. And to get the exposure of traveling and playing and learn the professional trade. Because I think that we're a little bit behind in that respect.
Yes, I definitely agree with that. I would say not just a little, Lenny, I would say many, many, many years behind, just in terms of like professionalism. And I came across like a photo. One of the members sent me a photo of the Trinidad and Tobago Football Association coach. He had a practice, and he probably had about 10 guys that practice in the photo. Possibly, of course, he had more. But what stood out to me was the fact that he was wearing a Puma shorts with a Joma top. And the players, they had training gear on, but they had no logo on the no TTFA logo. I mean, to me, that is a sign of unprofessionalism. Here you are, a national team that people are in the diaspora from Trinidad and Tobago all over the world, and they're looking to see, okay, well, what's the national team doing? But you appear like that. I think that is something that is far too common in the Caribbean, the unprofessionalism. And maybe they don't realize that they're being unprofessional. I mean, I have no idea. I don't want to be the type that's a complainer. I want to help them. But at some point in time, you have to, like the saying goes, like, you look good, you feel good, you play good. I mean, is this going to be the type of tournament that you foresee? Is this going to be one of the tournaments that's going to make the Caribbean look professional when it comes to football?
Absolutely.
Good.
Absolutely.
Good.
And I can concur with what you're saying, because I've seen it. But it's time for change.
Yeah.
And of course, culture plays a very huge part of football. And in the Caribbean, we watch the EPL on a Sunday. We like what we see. We We are excited. We are supporters of teams, but we only see them on Sunday.
Right.
When they go on the pitch.
They prepare. Right. We don't see how they prepare.
They don't have an understanding of what happened throughout the week.
Right.
With preparation and, again, the professionalism.
Right.
And just to see them on Sunday, you're missing a huge part of how it is, what it takes to get them there on Sunday.
Yeah. And that's
so that's important, that we do whatever we can to bring them into the first, I call it the first world of football. And I think Island Cup will have that opportunity to do that. They will have the training on islands. They could see a professional training session, a professional coach, and what is done. And whatever little we can do to change the culture of playing in the Caribbean, I think Island Cup will be doing some of that.
Well, I mean, that's excellent. And I mean, what you're telling me is what a lot of us living outside of the Caribbean need to hear, right? Because we want to support the Caribbean. Like, say, you know, Trinidad and Tobago were to make the World Cup. All right. So take, for example, the Jamaican women team, right? They made it in 2019. All of us got behind that team, being even from the Caribbean. It was no longer, oh, Trinidad and Tobago versus Jamaica. No. We're not interested in that. We want to support the Caribbean. And it takes us supporting, you know, the entire diaspora supporting, but there has to have some level of professionalism, you know? So this is great to hear. And we're so happy that you all are, you know, going to launch this. And you said it's going to be this year, correct? In 2021,
yes,
is that the goal?
Kick off somewhere around August 1st.
Okay.
Based on the Gold Cup. And that finishes around that point. So we will kick off then. And we'll go for 12 weeks. And finally, it's an opportunity to have our players be paid and taken care of professionally. And this benefit will spill over to the national associations, because the younger players who are getting this training and exposure, it'll go a long way of improving the football throughout the Caribbean.
Much needed. That's much needed, because we improve the football in the Caribbean. It helps CONCACAF as a whole.
Absolutely.
Because think about this. Absolutely. I mean, if you've got the U.S. and Mexico, as we know on the men's side, they have never won a World Cup before. But if we can raise the level of competition in the Caribbean, that's going to help CONCACAF. I mean, competition makes everybody better, correct?
Absolutely.
Would you agree?
And, you know, even within our region, we need to stop losing 6-0, 8-0, and be more competitive with North America, which is US, Mexico, Canada, and Central America, the Honduras and the Costa Rica, those teams.
Right.
And we're a little bit below that. And so that needs to be pushed up somewhat. And we can't wait for someone to come and do it for us. We have to do it ourselves. You're
right. You're definitely right about that. Well, Lenny, I want to thank you for coming on to the show. I know the Islands Cup is a work in progress. I know how it is to launch a tournament. It takes time. I know you guys have a lot of investment behind this. And, you know, we want to help get the word out as much as possible. Will there be an opportunity to view the games online or through television?
Yes. As you know, television is survival in the football business. So hopefully we'll be able to come out with the marketing very soon, which allows everyone to be able to plug into these matches. So that marketing will be coming out. Prior to that, I am working very hard now to recruit players in the diaspora and in the Caribbean, So there's a few combines that will take place somewhere around the first week of March.
Okay.
And we'll get back to you on sites. And if there's great players around who wants to use this as a vehicle and they have the ability, we would be happy to hear from them.
Okay, fantastic, Lenny, and we will make sure to put it out as well.
Absolutely.
Are there any social media channels currently that we can go online to find the Islands Cup?
Well, you could go to the website of islandcupnow.com, and then you can look at the program, what we're trying to do, and of course, our trial dates will be on there.
Okay.
So, and you could also see the testimonial of the legend players who will be involved with the cup. And, players like Yaya Torre and Samuel Eto'o and those folks are lending their feet in helping this thing get off.
Fantastic. All right, Lenny. Well, that's great. So, you got a great staff of people behind you. I mean, you've just got name recognition after name recognition. So we wish the Island Cup the best. Again, we will be here to support it in any way that we can. And we look forward to having you on the show again, Lenny.
Looking forward. Thanks for having me. And again, all the best for you and the organization for 2021.
Absolutely. You too, Lenny. All right. You take care. All right.
All right.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.